Good morning, everyone. Brian here with BMK Retro Gaming. This morning I have a review for you guys of the Atari VCS 2600 original library game, Kung Fu Master. Now, it was developed by IREM. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it or not. It's IREM. Close enough, I guess. Anyway, in 1984, and released by them in Japan as the arcade cabinet original, whereas it was distributed here in the North American market and a lot of other places by Data East, who also did numerous ports of the game. And, of course, the Atari VCS 2600 port came out in 1987, so it took a while. Well, then again, 1984 was a year where not much recovery had come down from the 1983 industry and market crash for video games in the North American market, so it kind of makes sense. Not that it took around 3 years to happen, but delays were inevitable. Anyway, I have my loose copy here. I got it at my local game exchange retailer some time ago. It's not the most fancy or clean looking copy, but it does tend to work for my purposes. Thank you for finally focusing. Here we go. Let's see. Copyright IREM, 1984. Can't see it right there very well. Manufactured under license by Data East USA Incorporated. And I paid about $9.99 before tax on it. Anyway, it's a pretty good, interesting game. You are the protagonist, Thomas, who is trying to save his girlfriend, Sylvia, who has been captured. I forget the whole name of the guy in the plot, but anyway, you fight your way through 5 levels and his henchmen until you reach a boss at the end of each level, wherein it goes from being just a basic beat-em-up game to fighting game to the boss fights actually make it into a one-on-one fighting game, at least temporarily, so it's pretty interesting. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and toss it into my Hyperkin Retron 77, and we're going to have a look at some gameplay. Wasn't quite in there. Okay, there we go. I think that focus is a bit better. Okay, so you just use the joystick to move, and you can jump, or you can also crouch. And basically the forward, I don't think so, and right, forward and backwards will cause you to do kicks. while pressing up with your while moving towards the enemy will cause you to throw punches, which is another interesting conundrum in a way. Basically, these guys come through what seem like a bit of waves. Many people can sometimes mistakenly believe that the Atari VCS 2600 port actually does have side-scrolling, but it's actually not side-scrolling. It's more of a clever placement of a clever manipulation of sprites. So the idea that you have actual parallax or side-scrolling is, or parallax side-scrolling is interesting. I will say this: I've seen a lot of places that the Atari VCS 2600 port, with maybe the exception of it doesn't have a jump kick, as you guys can just see right there. Whereas, if I'm not mistaken, the arcade cabinet original and a number of other ports did have a jump kick included, but the Atari VCS 2600 would have had a hard time pulling off such moves, or at least with supporting the right type of mechanics to do it. So. Okay, here, that's the boss at the end of the level. See if I can get back to him. I'm not sure why or anything, but it apparently awards you more points for landing punches than for landing kicks. Probably because you have to be closer range with a kick, and thus with a punch, and it would be a bit riskier anyway. Here we go again. Well, that stunk. Try again. It's been a while since I actually played this one too much, so. These guys will come to you from both sides, so. You know, I'm getting nowhere with that. These guys will grab you and kind of try to hug on like a facehugger from Alien or something, if you don't get rid of them before they can make contact. What the hell? It's a fairly challenging game. It has up to 5 levels on each, or 5 floors per 5 levels, I guess, and it will loop back around after you finish one on a slightly higher difficulty, like most other games would do. That it's an arcade port, so not a big surprise it would do that. I found before you want to try and keep moving, like, say, to the left if you really want to. I told you to kick, you stupid. So do it. You're gonna screw with me. Tired of that. Here we go, a boss fight. And I beat him. Of course, that might have been the mid-boss fight deal, which I wanted to get to show you guys what it's like to beat that guy. Which is not really all that tough to do. Anyway, taking a look at, the combination of colors in these sprites and the nice, pretty decent music and everything, and the fact that it at least seems to imitate aside using that clever sprite placement to actually imitate what it would be like for this to be a side-scrolling game is pretty good. Makes it into a much more interesting game, and it may still not be quite anywhere close to being an perfect arcade port, but it does do a good job of it's one of those examples of one that doesn't seem to be so far away from the arcade cabinet original as to not make sense. Darn you guys. And there's another game over. Usually I can at least get to level 2, but for the purposes of this video, just trying to give a short session. I think you guys get the idea of the gameplay by now anyway. Okay, so that was Kung Fu Master, a 1987 original library game for the Atari VCS 2600. Like I said, it's not nearly an perfect arcade port, but it does a pretty good job for what it is. And, well, I guess a lot more people would probably be even more familiar with the third generation Nintendo NES port, which was, interestingly enough, just called Kung Fu. Don't know why. Anyway, but yeah, you guys could see the Atari VCS 2600 does a pretty fair job. And I like it. If you guys get a chance to pick up a copy or play it through emulation or anything, I'd say go for it. It's a pretty good game. And it's got enough challenge to be worth your time in terms of, you're going to feel like you got a little bit of a sense of accomplishment for getting through this one. Sure, I need a lot more practice on it, but yeah, it's pretty fun and rewarding once you finally get it down. Let me see. My preferred YouTubers, Phil the No Swear Gamer, Hi Retro Game Lord, Phil with his channel No Swear Gamer, Hi Retro Game Lord, Retro Sutra, Brian's Man Cave, and There's one more in there, I think. It might not be. Anyway, they all have nice videos featuring... Oh! Patman QC History of Arcade Games. I think it is. I always forget exactly how he has that laid out. Anyway, Retro Sutra has a nice comparison contrast of this port with the number of others, and Patman QC has a nice history on the a nice documentary on the history of Kung Fu Master, as well as this port. And they all have nice videos, which I would recommend you guys check out if you'd like, so I'll leave links to those. As well as I will leave a link to the Wikipedia article for any who may be interested in reading up on this game further. Anyway, you guys take care, have a good morning, and I will see you again in my next video.